Hello there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Spring Fever, brought to you by Royal Retros. As always, it is me, XFL Jim, joined by the one, the only. It is Uncle Rico. What's happening, Eric?
Nothing much, man. What's going on with you, dude?
Life has been nothing but twists and turns, peaks and valleys. These XFL, USFL rumors keep fucking up my steez. It's like there's a new one that comes out almost every day, it feels like. I'm ready for some actual official information.
You know what? I feel you. I just want to know what the hell's going on. This may strike you as odd, Jim, but I'm a planner.
Yeah, you strike me as a very meticulous. That's one of the first words I use to describe you when I talk about you to people is meticulous.
It's either meticulous or asshole. Those are the two words people usually.
Those are probably top two.
Yes. I just want to know what's going on. Like, honestly, and like, I just go back to these players. Like, they have to plan. You know what I mean? Like, if there's going to be multiple players out of a job because of this merger. That's just
I've seen players tweeting being like, "Hey, I know what team I'm going to, but I'm just waiting for the merger news to drop. Like, I know what team I'm going to sign with."
Really? So the players know what teams are going to be there then.
So I feel like the players might be getting information.
And none of them have blue stuff.
Which is like, I guess in all reality, those are the ones who are the most important to get information. Like, I guess fans probably should be the last to know. But it just leaves up in the air a lot of rumors. So before I get into that, we are brought to you, of course, as always, by Royal Retros. Use promo code SPRINGFEVER for 10% off at checkout. Great merch, great gear, great swag. Royal Retros, we thank you and we thank them. Eric, a new player has entered the rumor game. I doubt you've heard of him. His name is Howard Balzer. He actually has ties with the NFL. Right. I believe he's a Hall of Fame selector. Like, he's got like actual like credit with the NFL, and his reporting now, or what his rumors are saying, is that the XFL USFL merger is going to be 12 teams. So I believe last week when we talked about it, we said 10 teams.
Yep.
However many hubs. So this one is now saying 12 teams. I think they split it up between 2-team hubs, so it'd be 6 hubs.
Okay.
And I think it would be an even distribution of 6 and 6. Is what it sounds like from his rumor. So it sounds like 2 teams from each league are getting left out.
That makes me wonder.
But it also makes me wonder, where would the 6 hubs be? I bet they try and keep it super regional.
Oh, for sure.
So figure what? Would you do 3 Texas hubs?
No, you can't do 3 Texas hubs.
I bet they do 2.
2, yeah. I'll give you that.
I bet they do 2. I bet they do 2 in Texas, Birmingham, St. Louis,
Detroit,
and I bet they do. I bet it's got to be either Canton or like Memphis or something.
Probably can.
No, you got to include DC, I would think.
You think they make DC a hub?
I don't know, dude. With how like important the XFL specifically made the fan engagement in DC, like I think it is a new league. But I bet like if they still keep like the Defenders moniker, I bet DC fans would show up. It depends how much they value like the in-person experience. Also, according to the rumors, it looks like they're going to go after ownership in 2025.
Really?
Like for team ownership. They're going to try and really push that.
Okay.
I thought that might pique your interest a little bit.
I'm piqued.
You think the garage can get enough shekels together to buy an XFL USFL team?
Maybe in a couple of years.
Maybe. I mean, I think we looked it up before how much it cost to buy like an IFL arena team. That alone was like a couple $100,000.
I think first we need to get someone in the graphics department. I think we need a graphics department person hired before we can worry about
probably. We're working on
And
that right now.
like, I can't have Microsoft Edge as my graphics department. So
So also in this Balzer rumor report, whatever you want to call it, it looks like he specifically said that the leagues are meeting. Expect to hear an announcement this week or next week.
okay.
I've heard latest announcement. This is just me hearing things. I've heard latest announcement by like the 13th, which makes me think sometime next week we'll probably hear something.
Yeah.
But knowing our luck, Eric, and how what's happened before on big like XFL, USFL drops, they'll probably announce something tomorrow, and we'll just miss it because we won't hit it. No, they'll announce it like tomorrow morning or something, but we would have already recorded and like sent out the show.
Oh yeah.
Perfect for us.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
A little hello from little late LJ.
What up, LJ?
But I'm ready at this point just to hear something concrete.
Yeah.
On an unrelated note, I think it was James Larson posted a video, some clips of the XFL 2020 game between the LA Wildcats and the Tampa Bay Vipers.
I saw that today.
Yeah, it was so. That was the peak of my life. That was maybe the best day of my life as XFL, Jim. Was that day seeing that game. Eric, I know you probably weren't as big of the XFL as me back in 2020.
Yeah.
That game was everything. It was hilarious. It was back and forth, a huge comeback, and a big man touchdown. Our boy, Boogie Roberts, scored the last touchdown of that game.
Bugs.
Yeah, he was in LA. He was a Wildcat at the time.
Yeah. Yep.
I think about I think about not just that game, but like that weekend and that game every day for at least 5 minutes. Because not only was it a great game, not only was it arguably the best game of the season, that was the last game of that version of the XFL. COVID rips through everything the next week. And I think back of what could have been and how high I was on the mountaintop of like pure happiness and how low I sank instantly.
Look, I was, like, Jim, you know what, dude? You want to get blown away?
Blow me away.
If it wasn't for the XFL, you and I probably would have never met. And let me tell you why.
I can guarantee it.
Let me tell you why.
Lay it on me.
So, way back then,
in like 2020?
In 2020, like Gino and I didn't know each other at all.
You and me weren't even close to knowing each other.
Gino needed someone to talk XFL. So like I messaged him and I was like, and him and I had gone at it a couple times on Twitter. And I was like, hey, dude, if you need somebody to talk XFL, I can come on, I can do it. And I did it. And then asked me to come back. I must have killed it because he asked me to come back the following week. And then him and I started doing stuff every week. And then he was the one that got me in the door where you and I used to work together.
Holy shit. If you want to take it a step further, if it wasn't for the XFL, I wouldn't be XFL Jim.
Yeah.
Like that 2020 XFL was my life. When they announced it in 2019, when Vince McMahon came up and announced it, I was like, okay, I was born. I was like born again. If you believe in reincarnation, that's when I was reincarnated.
That's when you got reincarnated right there on that day.
I swear to God, dude, that November, December riding into it, the January, the hype kept building for me. And then it delivered so hard. I was never let down for a second. Every weekend I was hype.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I love the USFL, as much as I love the XFL, and I will fully admit that I'm putting on nostalgia goggles at this point in time, I've always been trying to chase that high of the
Yeah.
2020 XFL. I know a lot of people. I know, yes, Big Herm, 2020 XFL was peak life. Facts. I know a lot of people put on the nostalgia goggles for the XFL, and I know a lot of people that also put them on. If you remember, back in I think it was 2018, 2019, the AAF. People remember that one really fondly.
I mean, I remember that for like the 2 days that it was there.
Yeah, because it was on the worst. It was only on CBS Sports Network.
Mm-hmm.
They had like the worst TV deal.
Yeah, and there's like nobody ever there.
And I like I don't know, the XFL in 2020 was weird because it also had it was on ESPN and Fox. It was like combined with both leagues. It was so, oh God, never forget. Never forget. But I'm just ready for some, like, talking about now, I'm ready for some actual news.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're going to call it. So far, Fox copyrighted NSFL, National Spring Football League or whatever, and the XFL copyrighted UFL. And I don't
something along those lines. I don't know what.
I don't love either of those by themselves. I'm going to support the league, whatever it is. I'm interested to see what the name's going to be because I have no idea.
I'm sure it's going to be something stupid.
It's hard to beat XFL and USFL.
Yeah,
like those are pretty good.
Branded things.
And I wonder if they do have something else named for the whole league, if they like split them up into those kinds of divisions, especially if they keep like an even amount of the teams from each league.
Well, like, how can I word this? You think that's what I'm saying. You think they just have like two separate divisions?
I think especially if you keep them like
when's USFL and they have a champ, or
I think you could if you just kind of like combine the rule set enough and make them like actually like equalized enough. You have just your XFL division and your USFL division.
Yeah,
I think that could work.
I'm just spitballing, but then you need a name for the league, though. That'd be
that's right. The league name would be something different, and I don't know what that would be. But I think that'd be a really fun idea, especially a good way to use some of the. I know it's a very small contingent of people that watch these leagues, but I think it'd be a fun way to use the online fan bases for each league.
Yeah,
where you'd have your XFL people versus your USFL people, and you'd be able to shit talk back and forth on which one's better.
Yeah.
Oh, keep that alive. Keep that going.
Keep the dream alive.
Moving on to the north, though, Eric. The CFL playoffs are among us. They are happening at this very moment. Actually, not right now while you're listening, but this weekend. We had the first round of playoffs, the semifinals for the East and the West. Hamilton fell to Montreal 27-12. I think it just stands to form that Montreal they are the gatekeeping team. Hamilton's not a good team. Mm-hmm. Therefore, Montreal looks really good against Hamilton. This was a bad game.
Yeah, not even close.
Schultz didn't look great, and I'm a big Matthew Schultz fan, but he didn't look great. Bad coaching decisions from the Ticats. I don't know. Not a great season for them.
Not disappointing. The second disappointing season in a row after making the Grey Cup.
Ricky Ripe has officially transitioned into Rochelle Ripe and soft launch relationship with Jordan Travis. For those of you who know, you know. That's XFL community talk, Eric. That's deep cut. That's deep cut. So,
all right. I guess I'm not with the cool kids yet.
Eric, it's hard to beat. They were my day one XFL people, like people that I followed literally like December 2019.
Okay.
They've been with me longer than anybody. It's crazy.
Longer
than Chase. Longer than Chase.
What about your cat?
The cat beats him by like 2 months.
The cat's your true ride or die.
The cat is my ride or die. Hamilton disappointing. Montreal, good season making it to the finals, but I think this is where their run ends.
Where the ship stops.
Speaking of which, the ship's going to be the one to stop them. because those Argos are fucking killing them.
I got you.
Other game, Calgary 30, BC 41.
Never
Decent
really
enough
close.
game, but we knew BC was the better team.
Yeah. Yeah. Never really close. You know, we got the first half. We got the game.
Yeah, BC like kept them at an arm's length the entire game.
Yeah. Couldn't go over the hump.
Exactly. Couldn't get them over the hump. But we look forward, Eric. There's only 3 more games left of the CFL season.
Just crazy.
If you look at the futures right now,
it seems like it's been going on forever. But
interesting futures markets as they stand right now. There's 4 teams: Argos plus 115, Bombers plus 175, Lions plus 350, Alouettes 9-1. You probably should have taken the Lions last week when we called it out at, what was it, like 650?
Yeah. I mean, like, if you missed it, you can do like a money line round robin. Like, a money line. Was it rollover?
Oh yeah, just roll it over to them because you could. Yeah. They're a plus 180 dog this week. I assume when they play the Argos in the Grey Cup, they'd probably be similarly around like the plus 200 mark.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna take BC. I'm gonna play like that's my play this week. Sorry.
So yeah, let's get to these games. Montreal versus Toronto in Toronto. Toronto's a 10.5 point favorite. Over under 50.5 plus 460 on the money for the Alouettes. I don't think either of us think Montreal has a chance to win the game. Is 10.5 too big?
I kind of like the first half of 6.5.
I don't hate that either.
Just because Toronto hasn't played, Montreal's coming off a game. We don't know how intense Toronto. You know what? They've been playing, but it's not really a game that's mattered, if that makes sense.
It's true, especially for like the last 3 or 4 weeks. They've had the East just locked up.
So because of that, I'm just going to play Montreal here first half. You know, maybe wait, hope I can get a 7.
You know what I might play besides that? I'm not joining you on that one. I'm going to play Toronto's team total over 30.5.
You don't think Montreal can check it up?
No, I mean they might like be able to like keep it close, but I think Toronto can like they're just going to score at will. I feel. I think Swag Kelly reveals himself when the playoffs arrive.
Oh wow! One book has an 8.5 first half in the market.
Woof!
Is that? There's no way. There's no way.
What's the full game?
There's no way that's an 8.
What's the full game?
Hold on.
You got. I feel like you have to take that, Eric.
Jim, let me look at this. There's no way.
I feel like you have to take that.
CFL. There's no way. I'm pulling it up right now. All right. For the full game, there's no full. What? Yeah, Bet Stamp, you're full of shit. Oh,
Call
wait.
it out.
No, son of a bitch.
Where at?
Well, I can't bet here anyway, but I mean, I can bet here, but I'm insanely limited on what I can do.
No, okay. Don't shout them out then. They're scumbags.
You know, but I'm seeing an 8.5 right here.
So take the 8.5 if you can find it.
Maybe I should just need to bet it like 10 times.
Yeah, just get a bunch of different accounts.
Yeah.
BC and Winnipeg facing off. The Bombers are 4.5 point favorites at home, over under of 50, plus 180 on the money line for the Lions. I'm betting the over here. I'm going to bet the over.
Yeah, you probably want to bet the over. I'm seeing a 5.5 in the market at one shop.
Ooh.
You know, I'm going to be on BC here. I just think that
they've got this sort of a vibe going right now.
Yeah. Offense is explosive. You know, finally starting to get healthy. And to me, like, it just kind of seems like the Blue Bombers, there'll be a game where it's like, oh shit, but the majority of the games are just kind of going through the motions.
It does feel that way. I I think Winnipeg wins. You're going to go with BC here.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a BC, I assume Toronto, you have beating Montreal.
Correct.
So a BC Toronto Grey Cup, who do you have winning it all?
Definitely BC.
I think Toronto probably gets a back-to-back.
Back-to-backer
Yeah,
for the
I think they get a
Argo?
back-to-backer.
Okay.
I think they do. I think they do. Eric, is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about my parlay I got going on here.
Okay, lay the parlay on me. What are we seeing?
All right, it's a plus 935. We're going Montreal plus 7 for the first half.
Okay.
Montreal, Toronto under 24.5 for the first half.
Ooh.
Then we are going
Alex in the
BC
chat, by the way, saying hammer Montreal, so.
BC Lions plus 190 on the money line. That's it. Nice little 3-teamer plus 935.
That ain't bad. But Alex does say, though, that Swag Kelly spits at your under.
Yeah, well, it's only for the first half, so
I think first half would be the way to play that game.
yeah.
The CFL second halves are unpredictable. They're wild. They're crazy. Other than that, I think that makes for a good show. It's been a nice, lovely, high
So
and tight episode.
real quick.
What's up?
Real quick.
Ask away.
Going back to this USFL thing.
Okay.
If you had to guess which two teams would be cut from each
league.
Yeah.
For the XFL, Seattle and my guess would be Seattle
just makes the most sense.
Vegas? Seattle and Vegas?
Yeah, completely get rid of Vegas is done regardless, I feel. And I feel
the Vipers still might be a thing, but they would be moved regardless. But those would be the two that you probably cut.
Because they make the most sense because of the furthest west.
Yeah.
Now
for the USFL, it pains me to say you probably cut like the Breakers.
Okay. And the Maulers?
That are the Generals? You can't cut the Panthers. You can't cut the Showboats because they were actually playing. The Gamblers, maybe?
Gamblers
cut the Gamblers and keep the Roughnecks?
Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be crazy. It's literally gonna be crazy how everything pans out.
Cut the Fan Control Football Zappers. Yeah. So Alex is saying the Panthers are getting cut, but I don't think so because they just confirmed that they're playing in Detroit. Like they renewed the contract.
They signed a deal though.
Yeah. So I don't think the Panthers get cut. That's what leads me to believe that because otherwise I'd say the Panthers. Maybe the Stars.
Oh, dude, that sucked if the Stars got cut.
I would suck dick. The Stars are my favorite team.
That would suck, dude. That would suck.
Also, I get it. I'd be kind of annoyed if they cut San Antonio. Just really? For the people of San Antonio because they seem to really like these teams.
Uh-huh.
And that would just kind of suck. There are teams that you obviously can't cut. Like you're not cutting St. Louis, you're not cutting Birmingham. And I think you don't cut DC because those three have the best fan turnout and the best I think in the XFL, at least, I think for St. Louis and DC, they had the best merch sales.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously you can't cut Birmingham.
Yeah.
I think DC would be a good one to keep because if you do a DC hub, you can move the New Jersey Generals there and have like that sort of rivalry going on there.
Yeah,
if you're going to hub it up.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Eric, I think about this all day, every day. This is like dominating my mind. It's been terrible.
When you're just on the bench, just ripping it out, you're just like, just thinking about it.
I'm thinking like how you would put the teams up in hubs to make it work. Is there a way you could make it work without hubs? Who would I want to keep? Who would I want to stay? Who would I want to like leave? Does the NFL get involved?
Yeah.
I think if there's just one league, the NFL probably gets involved.
I guarantee the NFL is going to get involved.
I think that's like the biggest point, the biggest reason they're doing this probably.
For sure. Get the NFL backing, get a little more money. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, folks. That'll do it for this episode of Spring Fever. As always, I'm XFL Jim. That's Uncle Rico. Go to Royal Retros, buy some stuff. USFL, XFL, just call it that. Just call it that. Love you guys. We'll see you next week. Toodaloo.